everybody? Welcome to JDF Sports. I am your host for the evening, Kevin Fitzmaurice, but you can call me Fitz. I'm happy to be here. We got a jam-packed show, bunch of great stuff to talk about. We got NFL draft stuff. We got NBA playoffs. We got a bunch of great topics. The Shedeur Sanders slide, Giannis crashing out last night, a bunch of cool shit. But before we get into any of that, I need to introduce my good friend and co-host. It has been a minute since myself and my man here have been on a JDF Sports talk stream. Kearns.
Yo!
What up?
What's good, dude? I miss you.
I missed you too.
I miss your face. I miss your voice. I miss that bald-ass head. Let's go! I'm ready to talk about that crash out, dude. That insane Giannis crash out last night. We're going to talk about this weird-ass draft we saw and how we may have maybe cursed a player a little bit.
Listen. I thought Will Johnson should have gotten drafted. I didn't mean every single pick from like 20 to 32. I'm just saying. Gotta give a quick shout out here. My boy Frankie Cruz. What's going on? Showing some love. Frankie, how you doing, my man? He said Pat's over everybody, and he said L on his chest for loser. Listen, Shedeur went through enough, but I just felt the need to play Alicia Keys Fallin'. Well, there's a photo of Shedeur on the screen. It was just so fitting. We got EOS. Let's go, boys. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you, too.
It is Wednesday.
It's
Golly.
Wednesday, my dudes.
It's been a long week.
It has been a long week, dude. It's been a really long week.
Golly.
But we're here, and we're ready to kick some stuff off and talk about some sports and have some fun with y'all. So everybody who's watching right now, thank you guys so much. Our Twitch is cracking right now. Everyone who's watching on Twitch, what's going on? Thank you guys for all the love. Make sure to pop in the chat, say what's up. We're very interactive. We feed off of you guys. We love talking to you guys. So for the next hour or so while we're live, definitely hop into the comments. Let us know what you think and be a part of the show. A couple of other quick little readout here. Definitely make sure that you guys check us out on Discord. If you're watching right now on Twitch, type in that ! Discord, and you'll get an invite right to the channel. Join in there. We talk about sports, we talk about gaming, we talk about cards, all that fun stuff. So it's a really great environment. We're building a community. We're super, super excited to have you. But yeah, appreciate everyone who's tuning in right now. We've got quite a few viewers, but they're all pretty quiet. So come on in. Come say what's up. This is normally
comments
how
coming.
This is normally how we do stuff. But before we get started, Kearns,
talk to me nicely. Dude? I'm chilling, bro. I'm relaxing. I'm maxing, acting all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of the school.
A couple of guys came up to my hood.
Nah, just me. Sorry. I'm just happy, dude. It's so nice to just be able to wear shorts outside and to be able to drive home from work and not have it be pitch black anymore. Just so nice to not have to deal with all the BS. I love the fact that I can just see the sun all the time now.
Hey, my guy, I think that's Joey. Joey, I love you, buddy.
Let's go.
Just threw us a follow there on Twitch, so we appreciate the love. And
love that.
This helps us get closer to our Twitch follower goal. So you are the man. I hope you're
enjoying it.
And he said,
it
is me, baby. Right,
it is me, baby. Let's go.
That was for you, Joey. I know Joey's pumped that the Magic we don't have to deal with them anymore.
It's tough series, man. It's a physical series. That's for sure. It's tough physical series.
I will say the Magic are not going to go away anytime soon. I don't know. If they had Suggs, do you think that was a different series?
I think maybe, but I think also if we had Drew, that's also a different series.
True. If
they have Suggs, yeah, it could be different. But I don't think. Suggs is another defender they can throw at Jalen and Derek White. You could throw him on Tatum. I don't think he's going to do much on Tatum. I think the height's just too much there.
Yeah.
He's not exactly. I don't think he's helping the offense though, and I think that's what they really needed. Is they needed a third person on
wasn't
offense.
On the court, they were not scoring.
Right. They needed that third guy. They needed someone to come in and be able to get a bucket without it having to be Paolo or without it having to be Franz Wagner getting a bucket because they just don't have that third scorer on that team.
Joey said they're going to be tough next year. My guy Xavier, my love.
What it do?
What it do, babe? Xavier, in the Discord, I don't know if you saw, but I've been defending LeBron James for like the past 24 hours. So I'm doing that for you, buddy. Said Lakers in 5. Joey said France finishing everything around the hoop was so frustrating. They need 3-point shooting. They do. Yeah, Lakers in 5, baby.
That's actually mad funny.
So yeah, real quick, guys, before we jump into anything, and appreciate everyone who's commenting and tuning in right now. Before we jump into anything, I want to address something. JDF Sports has been back for a little bit, and as you guys know, we've been live, we've been gaming, we've been doing all sorts of content. It's starting to get back into our groove of how we were back in 2021, and during the time when Justin and I weren't a part of JDF, we want to shout out Dylan James. As you guys saw, Dylan James was holding it down for a little bit there with Chris Nozek as well. Chris is over on What's Brewing in Puck Off, so if you're a hockey fan, definitely go check him out. But yeah, Dylan James was holding it down without a bounds, and then we kind of did like this little pop-up in like 2021. We're like, hey, we're JDF Media, and Justin and I and Dylan, we were all kind of talking about doing some other stuff and cards and gaming and all that fun stuff, and we tried to start out with JDF Media, and it just was a really tough start. And one of the reasons that we had, and I promise there's a whole reason why I'm explaining this, one of the reasons why we had stepped away was due to some limitations that were out of our control due to social media channels and some of their algorithms and the way they do stuff. Long story short, we got a derogatory mark that wasn't our fault on our Facebook page. We were actually limited for an extended amount of time. So if you're wondering kind of why we disappeared and why we're back, we had a really great team. We had a lot of really good things going for us. And then just all of a sudden we got this devastating news that our Facebook channel we relied so heavily on, we had all our great memories, all our day ones followed us in there. We've done some extraordinary streams on our Facebook page. But yeah, we got this mark and now we're limited and nobody could really see us. And people were like, hey, where have you been? And we're like, we're still doing our thing. You just can't see it anymore. It was really frustrating for us. So I don't, that was in the past, and then, personal stuff and whatnot, but Dylan James held it down. We did the JDF Media thing. He stuck through and did Out of Bounds. And then recently we decided to join again and get things back and running. Myself, Kearns, Fonz, Dylan, all of us were really excited to be back. And kind of our draft special last week was an introduction back into what we've been doing with JDF Sports. So I kind of wanted to clear the air with some of that because I know some people were kind of wondering where we've been and what happened to us. But yeah, that's the long and skinny of it. It was really unfortunate what had happened to us. We worked really hard and we felt that our growth was limited, and then it was just kind of a really tough thing to get out of. So with all that being said, I do want to make an announcement here live. This week and next week are our last 2 streams on Facebook. So if you're watching us on Facebook, definitely head on over to the YouTube channel or the Twitch channel and make sure to give us a follow or a subscribe there. Because we're going to be going away from Facebook. We're still going to be posting. We'll still let you guys know when we're live, but those outlets is where we're really focusing on. They're great outlets. They're great channels. They don't really limit you in any ways unless you really break the rules and you don't have something really stupid happen. That's really frustrating because it's nothing that you did wrong, but a computer program marked you as being wrong. So as you can tell, I'm a little salty about it. But and then there's no way you can't contact anyone and defend yourself. So yeah,
that was a lot of fun to go through.
It was a challenging year in 2022, 2021, and then everyone else during COVID is doing podcasts and streams. So we were really at a disadvantage. But Joey said having you on Discord is great, and yeah, we're on the Discord. If you're watching on Twitch right now, !Discord in the chat, you'll get the invite. Or just let us know. It's on our page. It's on all of our social links. Go head on over to our Discord. We post all our lives there. We've been having some great conversation there around football and basketball and gaming. So definitely pop on over and say what's up. But yeah, we are officially back. We've got a lot of really cool things we're super excited about. We've been working our butts off, the draft special, all this stuff. But we kind of wanted to show you guys for a couple weeks that we were serious about coming back. And now here we are. So yeah, EO said, happy to have you guys back and changing for the better. Let's freaking go. Absolutely. So if you're watching on Facebook, like I said, make sure you head on over to our YouTube or our Twitch so you don't miss that hiccup. And we'd love to have you over there. We got some giveaways we're doing soon. We're going to give away some awesome stuff, maybe some cards, some jerseys. But yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. So really excited. I just want to address that. Justin, anything?
Fully paid date with Fitz is going to be one of our giveaways for sure. No, but it's nice to be back. We were gone for quite a bit. It was definitely a little bit weird to not be able to. I mean, I know there were definitely times where like things would happen and I would want to hop onto a camera and start talking to you guys, and then I would just be like, well, I don't really do that anymore, so that kind of stinks. And there were definitely a couple times I know we've had talks about coming back, and it never really fully manifested. But I know we kind of both, us two specifically, kind of found ourselves at a point where we were like, yeah, I think we're good enough to come back. We want to get back into the community that we had. I mean, we had this awesome community with you guys where we were talking to you guys every day, whether it was on here, one of the live shows, or was in the sports lounge, and just having those sports conversations, like that was a fuel to our fire. And I know it's something that both of us were very like missing in our lives, like having those conversations. I know like a lot of people that are in the sports lounge, a lot of people who've been following us since day one, I haven't really talked to since, we kind of went offline. So I'm excited to get back into those conversations. And I know we're having those in the Discord now. So I really, really highly suggest, if you are a sports fan and you like talking sports,
yes,
or you like video games or cards or anything, please go check out the Discord. It's a great, great, great time. You guys are going to really, really love it. We're talking in there every day. I was just talking to a couple people the other day about some basketball stuff. We've been talking about some gaming stuff. So definitely go check that out. It's a great space to just talk about whatever you like, dude, whatever you like. Yep. But definitely come talk to us. We miss you guys, but we're back, baby.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
And on that note, we got some sports to talk about, Kearnsy.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
A couple of comments. Joey, I'm sad to have to listen to national broadcast for the. I know, I was really sad when Scal signed off last night. He's like, oh, thank you guys so much for all the hard work. I was like, damn, I don't want to listen to. I mean, I'm not a Doris Burke hater. I like Doris Burke, but there's some people that I really can't stand the national broadcast.
Which is totally fair.
Yeah.
Which is totally fair.
Oh, Moobot. Shout out Moobot. If you're in Twitch, it just shared our Discord, so make sure to join.
Nice.
Joey said it absolutely gross. I think he was talking about some of the JDF stuff we were chatting about there. But, yeah, it was unfortunate, man. And then Keck, we got some really cool stuff. I hope you could stick around for a bit, man. We got some good shit to talk about here. But without further ado, talking about the NFL draft and diving into some of the topics here. First thing I want to discuss, New England Patriots, baby. I don't think anybody had a better draft than the Patriots. And I said this about free agency. This is the most improved team in the NFL. There's no question to me about it.
Yeah, 100%, 110%. Like, I don't see. I mean, I think there are some people who were maybe improved, but this team improved. I mean, we hit every single aspect of what we needed to improve on. We hit it in some form or another, or at least we have the prospects of hitting it. We did something to improve everywhere we needed that hole. We did it. Like, we made moves to improve our offensive line. We made moves to improve the defensive line. We made moves to improve our defense as a whole. We made moves to get some more weapons for Drake May. We got linebacker. We got people in the secondary. Like, what did we not do? Like,
I think the only thing we didn't really sign is a tight end. I think that's like real talk. I think a kicker is the only thing that we really didn't go after.
Yeah, dude. Like, we didn't get a punter. Oh, well.
Joey, Pat strength schedule. And listen, I want to make this clear. Just because I think that they're the most improved team doesn't mean that I think that – is there a chance they could be a playoff contender? Sure. Very, very, very vague playoff contender, but they do have a tough strength of schedule coming up.
Yeah.
So, Joey, were you going 500? I wouldn't be shocked. I think our ceiling is like 10 games, 11 games this season. A ceiling. 10 or 11 games this season. Realistically, I think that we're probably going to win like 7 or 8 games. But hey, having a top pick, and now we're probably going to be just outside the top 10 or right at 10. We'll see what they do. Keck said, I was confused with what the Bears did. I feel like they put a lot of effort into making sure that Caleb Williams has all the weapons, and I have full faith in Ben Johnson as the coach and what he was able to do with the Detroit Lions. I mean, the turnaround that a guy like Jared Goff had, phenomenal. You go out and you get Loveland. You go out and you get Luther Burden. You still have DJ Moore. You got Roma Dunze last year. And I think it's Antoine Randall is the wide receiver coach over there. I think he came with Ben Johnson. But he said that, of course, vote of confidence, he thinks that Rome was the best wide receiver in the last draft. Still a top pick, still I think Rome would have been over Tet this year. I think Rome would have been the number one wide receiver taken if he went in this year's draft. So they have a lot of pieces. They, free agency, they went hard in the offensive line. Last year, once they made that move with Sweat, they had one of the best defenses in football for like the back half of the season. So I do think the Bears are onto something.
Yeah, they definitely got plenty of weapons. And like you said, for Caleb Williams, and they also, they did pick up a lineman. So they did at least do something to put a little bit more into that offensive line. So we'll see what they can do over there.
Joey said that would be an insane turnaround. I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't either, but I really, really am full faith Mike Vrabel. Look at this graphic right here. Will Campbell, short arms. We're going to have to see how that translates. But, man, if you have been watching any of his press conferences recently, you can't help but be excited about the energy this guy's bringing. Literally said he would die for Drake May. He'll play. And here's my take on Will Campbell that I've been really wanting to say for a while. I've been saving it up. No matter if Will Campbell is not a good tackle, you can still shift him and he's going to be an amazing guard. So, yeah, you don't want to draft a guard at 4. That's just not where the value is. But we started to see some guards going earlier. We saw some guys going at 12 and 15 that were guards. My whole take is even if he's still a blue chip prospect. He's still one of the best, if not the best lineman that was in this entire draft class. Even if the small chance, or I wouldn't even say small chance, even if just this whole fear that people have about his arms is true and he cannot play tackle, I still think that you got a Pro Bowl guard. So absolutely. I don't think it's an L no matter whatever way you look at it. I think it was a safe pick, and I think we addressed our biggest need. And he says he'll drive for Drake May, says he'll play any position in the field. Some of his clips, he's a violent lineman, which I absolutely love. There's that clip of him deep squatting like 660 pounds and winking at the camera, like just bunch of great content. Southern boy says that LSU was, worried about his short arms, and he went and he was the best lineman in the nation. I just everything he's saying is phenomenal. I'm really excited about this Will Campbell pick.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. And I think, like kind of what you said, dude, we saw a ton of offensive linemen getting taken in this draft. So I feel like just to take the best one that was on the board early enough, the guy who's going to, like you said, even if he's not as successful as we want him to be at tackle, he can still play guard and he's still going to have a huge role in protecting Drake May. Mm-hmm. I was just looking at the draft and I kind of forgot, there was so many linemen taken in this first round of the draft. And I get it, you want to build up your offensive line. It was just kind of surprising. And even like you said, Tyler Brooker was the first guard at 12. And we had Gray Zabel go at 18. Both of those were not picks that people really expected, but they went. So even if we do end up getting an offensive guard out of this, so be it. If he's good, who cares, right? Like you said, maybe that's not where the value lies in taking a guard that early. But hey, if he's a great offensive guard and he's protecting Drake May, we won, right?
I would rather draft another. I'd rather draft a guy that has a chance to be Zach Martin than another N'Keal Harry. You know what I mean? I would rather any other position. If you draft a guy at wide receiver, the chances of him, if he sucks, you don't really have a lot to go with there. If you draft a guy at tackle and he can go and play a guard position and be successful, it's not that far of a drop off. So I'm super happy.
Realistically, I don't think any of the guys that were taken after Will Campbell, I don't think they were massive changes, massive people, people are going to come in and make a massive change for this team in the position that they're in, right?
Right.
Cool. Ashton Genty's cool and he's a great player. And obviously he would help our run game, but I don't know if taking a running back at 4 really is what we need to do there, right? So I don't know. I think people are not going to like it because it's not the flashy pick like we talked about in the draft show.
Yeah.
But I think it's the right pick. It's the pick that helps us the most.
Yep. I agree with you. All right, cool. Couple of comments here. Keck said, I was excited about Chiefs getting Josh Simmons, which some said was the best OT in the draft before the injury. And even then, people still said he was the best OT. Yeah, he's a big body. I don't think he's going to be better than Campbell. That's just me being a Patriot fan, a total homer. Did anyone see if the draft broke a record for most O-line? I feel like it had to have been. The interior and the depth of interior in this draft was awesome. 4, 5, 6,
eight offensive linemen drafted. Hold on,
Zang Daddy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, this dude's really gonna count them all. That had to be
5,
close.
6, 7. Okay. All right, listen, dude. Shut up.
Um,
Count them all. Yeah, man.
Joey, appreciate the sub, buddy. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
let's go. We love a sub.
Thank you
We love
so
a sub
much
around
for the
here.
sub. Thank you, buddy.
We love a
That's
subscriber
awesome.
around here.
That's my
Golly,
guy.
that's
You know, and I bullied this kid one time. I held him down and I sprayed air freshener in his face.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, he deserved better. He deserved better. But I hope that he has some growth from that and learned that he deserved better. Also, there's another time we were all really stoned. Joey wasn't stoned. I was stoned. And I gave him money to go to the store. And I said, I'm going to give you money. You can have whatever's left over. And literally, he went to the store for me, got everything I wanted, and then he had like $3 left over for a Gatorade. And he thought he was going to walk over there and have like $10-15 to be able to get snacks, and I just was a total jerk to him. But now I love the guy. I love the guy. I saw him recently, and he was my favorite run-in. It was unfortunate circumstances. It was at a wake, but I did run into him and was happy to see him. So shout out Joey. EO showing some love. He said one time, and he said he's going to kick my ass. I deserve it.
I believe it. I believe it.
No, Joey's a great dude. He's also living just a phenomenal life. He's got a beautiful family and just a great guy. So shout out Joey. All right, so well deserved. Patriots offensive tackle Will Campbell taken with the 4 pick. We're gonna see how that pans out, but I mean this is there's gonna be no in between. There's gonna be this is the next Matt Light for New England, or he's gonna just shift over and be just an average guard that we kind of forget was a 4 pick. But I love the next pick, Travion Henderson. People argue if he was the second best running back in the class. I mean, Genty was clear blue chip #1 running back, but this guy does it all. There is also no better pass protector, better than Genty at pass protection too. So if anything, we got the best pass protecting running back. He can run the ball. This is Jahmyr Gibbs 2.0. Super excited about this kid. Kyle Williams got a lot of hype, played at Washington State, so a smaller school. But this kid, I mean, if you watch his tape, which I'm going to try to pull up here for everyone to see, his tape just jumps out at you. He was electric for Washington State. This is a fast guy, a beautiful route runner, great hands, good for contested balls. No homo.
Nice.
But just
no pause.
Really, really fun player. I'm actually gonna pull up his stats here at Washington State. But
yeah, I mean, I think both those guys are they're great playmakers, they're great explosive playmakers, which is what we needed on offense. Is what we needed for a weapon for Drake May going forward.
Yeah. No, 100%, and we addressed everything. We got him a new offensive weapon, even just as a receiver. Obviously, we got a guy like Kyle Williams, but then even at running back. We've seen New England with Josh McDaniel before, who's back. We've seen him with some schemes where James White was a huge part of that offense for many, many years. But he's a big play threat guy. He averaged 17.1 yards per catch in 2024, 4.440, so pretty fast. He's great route running. He's explosive off the line. He erases the cushion. He gets behind people, and I can't remember why he fell. I apologize. I don't have the actual story as to why he fell. I know he's a little undersized, and that might be the reason why, and he played in the slot. But I mean, Josh McDaniel has had great success with building those slot receivers. So you have a guy like Stephon Diggs who can go outside. If Booty makes the roster, he's a guy that can go outside. We also have like Kendrick Bourne, who's questionable to make the roster, but him and Pop Douglas in the middle are going to be very, very difficult to get away from. So super excited about that pick. Super excited about Travion Henderson. They address so many needs. And then some of these other picks here is Kearns, Jared Wilson, and Braden Swinson, I think it was. It was either Wilson or Farmer. They had some off-field issues, which kept them around going later on. But these were guys that were projected to be first and second round picks, and we got them in the third and fifth round.
And if you can get those guys just on the straight and narrow and get their off-field stuff figured out, which with a lot of guys too, like they have that, and it can go either way. It's kind of 50-50, but a lot of guys, when they see that big old paycheck in front of them and they see hey, your families, your kids will be set if you just focus up and stop with the BS on the side. Sometimes it helps just kind of straighten that arrow. And I think also, obviously Belichick was a huge part in getting guys like that and putting them on the right path.
Belichick
But
has his own issues to worry about now.
Right. And I think that just even coming to a historical and a fantastic organization like the Patriots is enough to kind of push people in that right direction. Real quick, too. Yeah, the big thing with Kyle Williams, Fitz, was his size was what brought him down. Yeah.
You get a great slot guy in the third round. Yeah. That's bread and butter for New England.
We'll definitely take that.
Super, super excited about that. So, yeah, I know that Craig Woodson was a little bit of a reach. I think people had him in like the 6th or 7th round. But very, very physical, very fat. This guy flies to the football. So, a little bit of a reach, but they really liked him. They were super excited about him as a prospect. He has great tangibles, great football awareness, just a good football dude. So I'm really excited about him. And then we got a kicker. And I think that was a need. And people laugh, but look at how important the kicking position has become recently. We've seen so many like clutch things just get botched because even look at Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker last year struggled, and he's the best kicker in football. So,
right.
We all laugh, and it's the most unsexy pick you could possibly take. But we addressed it. We got the best one in the draft, and Patriots walked away in a really, really great position, super bright future. I wouldn't have changed one single thing that the Patriots did this entire offseason.
No, I love it. I absolutely love the moves that we make. I think some people are we talked about it. Some people were said that we didn't get some of the bigger name wide receivers that were out there that were on the market. But I actually don't think that would have been the right move. I think that obviously we went and got, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? I can see his face.
Matt Collins?
No, the guy from
Stephon Diggs?
Stephon Diggs, yes, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, dude. I could see his face. I couldn't think of his name for some reason. But yeah, obviously we got Diggs, and I think people like, well, Diggs has a big contract, but I don't know. I didn't see the full details of that contract yet. I know we've said it before. Like, it's probably going to be a very incentive heavy and incentive based contract.
It is
coming up. It is. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I won't say it was perfect, but I think it was damn near perfect offseason for the Patriots. Absolutely damn near perfect. And with the progression we'll see from Drake May this year, like you said, I think it's hard to definitely to say that we're already playoff contenders, but I would not be that surprised if we ended up making a playoff push late this season.
Yeah.
I think a big part of it is how the rest of the AFC East does. Obviously, we kind of know what Buffalo is. I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding Miami and surrounding New York right now to see like what they do with Justin Fields, to see how Tua plays this year. So there's a lot of question marks. We'll kind of see. We'll see if we can push our way back into that wild card spot this year. That'd be fantastic, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Keck said might be a reach, but it was a pick of need, so I never have an issue with reaches. Me neither. Unless it's like a really aggressive reach. EO said they did well. Excited to see them really get the team going this year. New England deserves. Yeah. We've been deprived for so long. Yeah. We deserve a good season. We do.
And we are, let's be honest, we're a little bit spoiled over here in New England with our team. We need winning teams. New England teams don't rebuild. They retool. They reload.
Nice. I like that.
We don't. Sorry.
Moving on to another big topic of the draft. Shedeur Sanders sliding to the 5th round. Kearns,
kind of crazy.
I know you're not a big football guy, but from the outside looking in, what's your thoughts on what happened for Shedeur this weekend?
And you're right, I'm not a huge football guy, but it is kind of crazy, right? Like, he got drafted. There's a lot of quarterbacks that got drafted before him that I look at them and I'm like, on paper and from what I've seen on the field, I don't think any of those guys, I don't think a lot of those guys were better than Shedeur Sanders. Him sliding past the 1st round, sure, whatever. I think the fact that it took all the way to 5 is kind of ridiculous. And I think that there was a lot of that outside influence from some of the comments that Deion Sanders made in the offseason. And I get that. I think that from what I've heard, at least, and what I've seen, I know that there was a lot of question marks that came up during his draft interviews with teams, didn't like the answers that he was giving. And I just think that the whole concept around the Dion and Shedeur and the Colorado team is obviously like Travis Hunter is a generational talent. You have to take him early. But I think that there's so much like people just did not really like that Colorado team and they were just annoyed by the way that they were acting. I think that had part to do with it. I think a lot of the off the field stuff, and I know obviously there's some question marks in terms of like, yeah, he had a great season on paper, but he was doing it. It was a lot of check down throws. It was a lot of screen passes. I know we saw that.
He cannot take pressure. He was sacked a ridiculous. And then for him to throw it on his offensive line last year in a couple of games was also.
And I think that was the other thing too. Was there were a lot of moments where he was throwing teammates under the bus, and that's GMs are not going to like that. Coaches are.
Well, when you draft a quarter, unlike any other position, when you're drafting a quarterback, you're also drafting a leader. You can't be the quarterback and not be the leader of the team. Sorry, that doesn't work.
Right. That being said, I do think like there were quite a few people like I don't think that kid I don't think that kid from Louisville is better than Shedeur Sanders.
I don't either.
I
don't think Dylan Gabriel.
I don't think Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, the same team, and that's we can talk about that again. Like that, I think is a great. Like I'm confused by that move by the Browns. Where if you're gonna go quarterback, I mean maybe they didn't think they were gonna get Sanders. Maybe they only took him because he fell so far. But like if you had plans to take him at some point, why not just take him? I mean, again, maybe they just want to have some competition in their quarterback room, but like, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. Why take a guy who is less talented than him when he might not be that guy? Like, why take it? I don't know. It just seems really weird to me.
Yeah, it is a very strange.
Hell, I'll say I don't think Jalen Milroe was better than Shedeur Sanders. I think Shedeur's
he's an athletic freak. He's Lamar Jackson.
He is an athletic freak. I don't know.
So, Boomer Esiason, I'm actually going to see if I can pull the clip up and play it for you.
I thought it was funny, though, that we were so set that he was going to go somewhere in the first round, and then he just fell.
Let me see if I can find this clip. It's interesting what he said about the whole.
Oh my god.
Is this it? No, that wasn't it. He made a comment, but here's my take on this. And I think it was Tiki Barber actually made a comment. Someone posted it in the Discord, but I don't know why I can't find this Boomer Esiason thing. But someone had posted it in the Discord, and my whole take on Shedeur Sanders is, Justin, I think we're seeing an additional issue with prospects, and I think it's the NIL. I am in favor of the NIL. I think players should be able to make money based on their likeness. I think that they should be able to sign contracts and work out deals with, Nissan wants to sign you and you're a super recognized player. I think you should be able to. I think you should be able to sign cards and memorabilia. I think you should be able to go to shows. All that stuff, I'm all in favor for that. But I don't know what it is. I don't have the answer. But something needs to change with NIL because this was a guy that was making $6 million last year. And that was more than any other player by a long shot. And by all, at the end of the day, he earned that money. He made a brand for himself. He got recognized with the watch thing. He was the big dude at Colorado. His dad's the coach. He's, the best quarterback in the country going into the season last year. Like, he earned his money. He played it well. He's he reminds me of like a Jake Paul. Really, really good at promoting himself, really, really good at making a name for himself, and he's got this big target on his back for some reason. People call him cocky. People call him arrogant. People say he's self-centered. He's all about himself. I didn't care about some of the comments he made last year. I don't care that he put some of his teammates on blast, the lineman thing. I thought that was a weak move. I don't think he's a great leader. I don't think he's a good locker room guy, and I stand by that. But did he deserve to drop all the way to the 5th round? I don't think so. But to go back to the NIL thing, I think it's a problem because you're now have these guys that are like almost making these decisions instead of like, I worked my butt off and I'm earning my first check to make it into the NFL. And I just went through college and I want to buy my mom and dad a car and a house. Like all of that, which we've seen for many, many years, is gone because these guys can start making money right away, which once again, I'm in favor for. I just don't know how you fix it. But I think that a little bit of that had to play into this Shedeur Sanders fall. So Boomer Esiason, I can't find the clip, but
so I don't have the clip, but I do have the quote.
Please do, please.
So Boomer Esiason said, NFL teams took him off their draft boards, and they took him off because the owner said take him off. I don't want that guy. Shedeur Sanders just repeated himself, his attitude off the field at the combine, and his dad didn't help him either. He was on a podcast talking about this is my son. If I can get him to where I want to get him to, I'm going to do that. But, when you listen to this kid talk right prior or at the combine about it, you want a new culture in your locker room. I'm that guy to do that. I can turn it around. I mean, he's very high on himself. And I think he was very off-putting to many, many coaches and general managers in the league. And I'm telling you right now, and I know this after talking to 3 different personnel people in the NFL this weekend, they didn't even have him on their board. I don't want this entitled person on the team, and I don't blame them, was the quote from Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, so, I mean, listen, the fall, the first round, second round, whatever. But for him to slide past New Orleans and Pittsburgh at the 3rd round was a little bit, personally, was a little bit blasphemy. And I don't know what kind of lesson they're trying to teach. Hopefully, if there was a lesson to be taught, I hope a lot of people learned it. I hope he learned it. I don't think the NFL should have that kind of power, but at the end of the day, these owners are businessmen. They own businesses. Yep. They want to run them a certain way. They want their quarterback to act a certain way. They want them to fit a certain model. And if you don't get into the boys club. That's just how it is. A couple of comments here. Keck said, don't mean to toot my own horn, but I predicted he wasn't be drafted in the first 2 rounds. Some people said I was crazy. I think it's Besaw, Lancer. Shedeur dropped because no one wants the circus with him. It's like Tebow, 100%. Great take. Yep, I agree with you 100%, Besaw. He said it always goes back to Happy Gilmore. There's just one thing happy or not. And then this is a phenomenal comment. Besaw's my guy. I might be a little cut off here, but it says NIL and transferring should be more to a European soccer model where bigger clubs have to pay smaller clubs to take their top talent. It would help keep college sports healthy.
That's very interesting, yeah.
I mean, look at the dude, Idea Slyan, whatever the hell his last name was for Tennessee.
Oh, the guy who just went through that whole thing.
He's making less money than he would have if he just played at Tennessee for the Vols, and now he's playing for UCLA, and he kind of looked like a little bit of an idiot because he was like holding out and wanting money. Like first holdout we've seen in college. And now he's making less money.
Like there should be, I don't like, again, and I do agree, I totally agree, like the way that these guys work their butts off and the amount of money that they're making for their schools, they should 100%. Be able to get paid some way. They shouldn't be able to hold out though. Like that's crazy to me. Like you're at the end of the day, you're still a student. Like you're still a student athlete. Like I think if you're gonna sit there and say I'm not gonna play for you, then okay, cool, your money is gone.
Yep.
Like, sorry.
Yeah.
That stinks. Your money is gone. And I think like you look at people like because obviously not every student athlete is having it has an NIL deal, dude. Like
no.
So how is it fair that that another athlete at the same school even potentially who maybe isn't on the front cover, maybe isn't doing all this other stuff, but they're still drawing attention to their school in some way or the other, but then like they don't get to have this huge press. They don't get to make millions of dollars or a couple, whatever, $100,000 doing a college sport and then turn around and say, well, I don't want to play for you guys anymore. And I'm going to hold out until you do what I ask, what I want you to do. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, anyone else, they're just gonna be like, okay, cool, we're gonna cut you and move on to someone else.
And
I think that's so weird.
I agree with you 100%. It's very strange, and I really like what Bsaw said. I like that model. The NIL,
cool.
I think everyone's in favor of the NIL being in place. I've always said that NCAA was modern slavery. I mean, they make so much money, and these guys go out there and we've seen Lattimore get injured. We saw, was it Kevin Ware? Yep. We've seen players that were, projected. We saw the Zion Williamson shoe blown out thing that people were nervous about. We've seen it all. Jordan Travis, for example. Jordan Travis just retired today from the New York Jets at 23 years old. Solid quarterback at Florida State. Some even said he was in the Heisman candidacy until he had this nasty injury. And now doctors, and he's worked his butt off. He can't play in the NFL anymore, which he never even had a chance to do, which he's worked his entire life to do. So, yeah, I'm all in favor for an NIL, but something needs to change here. And I think that, when scouts look at you, and Mel Kiper went nuts about the NFL cannot scout quarterbacks, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more, because there is a mold that they want you to fit into, and sometimes they're right. We've seen players, Tom Brady, the best of all time, was 199th overall pick. Jalen Hurts, who just won a Super Bowl, was a second round pick. We've seen guys go over other guys. If there's a mod in the chat for Twitch, we got a stupid comment there. Thank you. So we've seen all these players go in all different places, and I really don't think that they're that accurate with drafting quarterbacks. We've seen Josh Allen go later, and Patrick Mahomes go later, and Lamar Jackson go at the end of the first round, and these are some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that we're talking about right here. And there's a massive laundry list of quarterbacks that went ahead of them that we're not even have conversations about. Yep. So I do think that they kind of suck at prospects here, but you have to have the talent, you have to have the skills, which Shedeur Sanders not perfect, but I think that he's got an arm, and clearly he was talented. He put up some really good. I have his numbers right here. At Colorado, he put up 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns through 10 picks. 74% completion percentage. This was a guy that was no slouch at the quarterback position. Am I saying that he's a Pro Bowler? Am I saying that he's even a starter in the NFL? No, but I think as a prospect, he checks that box of talent.
He checks the box where fifth round is a little bit. I think with, and especially we've seen guys with off the field issues before go significantly higher than that. There's a couple guys that come to mind pretty quickly, but I think that we've seen guys who we knew there was something going on off the field, but they still went. Some of them even number one overall. And again, that's not me saying that I think Shedeur Sanders should have been a number one overall pick, nor not even necessarily a first round pick. I just think that sliding all the way down to the fifth round was a little bit crazy.
Bro, Bailey Zappi, who played for the New England Patriots, had a phenomenal college career. He has the most passing yards in a season and the most passing touchdowns in a season. Wasn't even an electric prospect. Still went in the fourth round.
Yep.
A round ahead of where Shedeur Sanders went.
Yeah.
And this was a guy that was not sure, he did great at the college level, but he didn't have what it could have translated. And maybe Shedeur doesn't have it. I'm not a expert. I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders should have been a first round pick. I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny if he should have been a first round pick. But what I'm saying is, when you look at the talent, I think that he has some talent that needs to be worked with. I think he's a project. I don't think he's a Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels or a Cam Ward where you can insert him right away. But let's also not forget that for the longest time we're having a conversation about Shedeur over Cam Ward, and then Cam Ward suddenly, Cam Ward wasn't even the conversation. Then suddenly Cam Ward emerges. People are like, oh, he's the number one overall pick. And, there's competition. Is it Shedeur? Is it Cam? And then, okay, where's Shedeur going to go? Okay, well, he might go later in the first round. And then all of a sudden, people are shocked. I don't care if you like the guy or you predicted it or you're happy for the fall, whatever it is. You were still shocked. I don't care what you say. People were still shocked, even if you're like, oh, I'm happy this guy's sliding. He's an idiot. Sure, that's your take. I'm not going to knock you for it. But we were all surprised that he fell. So he had the talent, and then there's that leadership that I said, if you're drafting a quarterback, you're also drafting a leader. There's no team. You can't point me to a successful quarterback in the NFL who is not the leader of his team. Jalen Hurts, leader of his team. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, all of them leaders of their teams. Tom Brady, leader of his team. Aaron Rodgers, leader of his team. Peyton Manning, leader of his team. Joe Montana, leader of his team. Ben Roethlisberger, leader of his team. All of them were leader of their teams. Does he have that? I don't know. I wasn't his teammate. But there's like clips of his teammates from Jackson State like giving him the stanky eye during like interviews and stuff, or him like doing like a whole thing where he's like doing the watch and they're just like kind of giving him dirty looks. From what I've seen, and then like from what I've read, it doesn't sound like he was a good teammate. I also don't like how he publicly criticizes offensive linemen. That's a weak move. Even if it's true, Joe Burrow had a shit offensive line last year. Never once did I hear the guy complain about it. CJ Stroud was on his half of last year. I never heard him complain about his offensive line. You don't do that.
Nope. No, you even saw Joe Burrow at the award. I think it was the ESPYs, and someone made a joke, and he was laughing. They made the joke about his. I think it was about his defense, but still, it's about not throwing your teammates under the bus. And it's stone faced instantly because he's not going to sit there and laugh about a joke about his teammates, because that's what you do as a leader in a professional league. Is you stick up for your guys, you stand by your guns, like. That's just what it is. Sometimes these guys aren't stupid. These guys go out there every day. They play with these guys. I'm sure they know some of the people on their team aren't that good. I'm sure they see a guy that can't make a play at practice, and in their heads they go, yeah, I don't think that guy's very good. But
yeah, Brady probably did it tons, but you never heard Brady publicly do it.
I'm not going to go out in public and go into the media and say, well, my left tackle can't block and my center snaps the ball like he's a 12-year-old girl. Like, obviously they're not going to go out and say stuff like that. So to throw your teammates under the bus, that's just the first sign that you're not a very talented leader.
Yeah. And then I think that another aspect here is, do you love it? And I think that's where the NIL ties in, because now you have guys who, B-Saw just said it. It always goes back to Happy Gilmore. There's just one thing to happy, you're not that good. There could be guys that have just God-given talent that are just good at football, but do they really love it? Do they live? Listen to Travis Hunter. Listen to his interviews. This dude breathes, sleeps, and eats football. Will Campbell, Abdul Carter, these are all people that love football. Does Shedeur Sanders love it, or does he love the limelight? Does he love the celebrity? Would he rather be a rapper? There's question marks there. I don't know.
I don't know. You saw there was an interaction with Cam Ward.
Yeah, and he's like, why don't you hop in a song with me? He's like, I'm a football player. Cam Ward's like,
I'm not a rapper. I'm a football player. And he was kind of like, and it's like, no, dude, he's a football player. What are you going to go do make a song? You're not even in the league yet.
Tons of guys make songs. Tons of guys are rappers. I mean, one of my favorites was that whole Miami Hurricanes thing. Like, sure, if that's your thing, but like, does this guy love football? I don't know. I really don't know.
But I also think it stands at like the Miami Hurricanes. That's one thing, like, whatever. But I think it like stands out and says something when you're talking to a guy who is your direct competition in the upcoming draft. The draft that was probably a month before the draft.
It was.
Like, let's hop on a song, and it's like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
Does raise the questions like, do you really love playing football, or do you just love being famous?
Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. I took him in the second round of my dynasty draft and got a lot of shit for it. So I still believe that the Browns got a steal here. They got a guy that could start. I mean, all he has to do is beat out Deshaun Watson, who's probably not going to play this year. Joe Flacco, we all loved what Joe Flacco did, but does he still have it? He kind of looked a little sluggish last year for the Colts. And then Kenny Pickett, who struggled tremendously his entire career.
Well,
Seems like that might be, besides Cam Ward, that might be the easiest path to start for any of the quarterbacks there. I mean, and dude for the Saints there, Tyler Soro.
Dylan Gabriel, too, if he steps up and is like, hey, I'm here.
Who knows?
I'm Dylan.
EO said, tell me if I'm ignorant here, but it's a team effort in college. Would they do as good if it wasn't for the team? Why should they get insane pay differences if that is pay differences like that as student athletes? It's all about their likeness.
Yeah, it's very similar to professional athletes.
You build a brand and people like you and they want your autograph and they want you on their commercials and they want you on their shows, and that's where this money comes from. And it's a cut that the school gets, because the NCAA owns Colorado. They own the logo, they own the jerseys, they own the helmets, they own all that stuff. So Shedeur Sanders can sign his name on a piece of paper, sure, but what if he wants to sign a Shedeur Sanders jersey? Well, that's not his jersey to sign. That's Colorado's. And that's kind of where the NIL comes in, and that's where, people want the differences in the money. So, it is a team sport. And I mean, he was throwing the ball to Travis Hunter, who was arguably the best wide receiver in the draft, / cornerback, and one of the best athletes we've ever seen play college football. Never seen anyone do it so successfully both ways. So, I don't know. Time will tell if Shedeur Sanders, but that slide, whatever way you do with the Shedeur Sanders slide, was an aggressive one.
Yeah, that's fact.
Couple other quick notes here that I just want to make about the draft before we move on to the NBA stuff here. Was really, really shocked about the Emeka Egbuka pick for the Buccaneers. Not really sure what they're doing there at the wide receiver position. You just signed Chris Godwin to a pretty decent deal. You draft Jalen McMillan last year, and you still have Mike Evans. Not really sure that was a need. I think that they could have addressed other things. There was a cornerback that went after them. I think they need help in their secondary. They did later on in the draft. But they even drafted a guy like Tez Johnson, who Bo Nix's brother, by the way, who decent prospect. So I don't know. They're putting everything obviously into Baker Mayfield and going for a run for, Super Bowl playoffs. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders still, but definitely playoff teams. I'm a big Bucs fan. So, shocked about that pick a little bit. The other one that was James Pierce Jr. Moving up so aggressively for the Falcons to get back into the first round. Felt like they gave a lot up to go and get him. Absolutely loved the Malachi Starks pick. Absolutely loved the Matthew Golden. Loved the Jadid Barron, the Texas corner that went across from Pat Surtain. I think that's a phenomenal pick. Happy for Maxwell Harrison for the Buffalo Bills. Jihad Campbell might be the steal of the first round as far as value.
Yes.
I can't believe that guy
Fell
so much.
Philadelphia, of course. I mean, they even swapped picks to get him.
Do you have anybody else you want to highlight from that first round?
I thought it was interesting that, obviously Tyrell was very happy with it, and Tyrell knows a lot more about that team than I do. So if he's happy with it, I'm going to say
Jackson
it was a good
Dart.
pick. But yeah, them trading back into the first round to grab Jackson Dart. Honestly, when Matthew Golden started to fall, I was kind of hoping he fell all the way to the second round, so we could have picked him up. But that's neither here nor there. Derek Harmon going to Pittsburgh was a little bit interesting. I thought they were going to take a look at their quarterback needs early.
They didn't go till later with Will Howard.
Yeah. Which Will Howard, solid player in college. We'll see how he turns out. I don't know if he has what it takes to make it in the league, but hey, they at least addressed it a little bit. I mean, we know the Steelers, like they're somehow they'll go 500, they'll go one game over, one game under, and somehow make the playoffs still. They'll have some ridiculous thing going on. I know we kind of mentioned it earlier, but yeah, Colson Loveland early for the Bears was a little bit interesting. I don't hate it. It was just kind of surprising because I don't know. I think, and I don't think I'm alone in thinking that Tyler Warren was the best tight end in the draft, but I guess they like what they saw in Colson Loveland and they wanted to pair him up. Maybe they like the way that he meshes with Cole Kmet as a two tight end set. Other than that, it was a really weird draft. I know we kind of talked about it after that first 3 or 4 picks. We kind of did say that there was a lot of question marks going into that draft because there wasn't really those. There wasn't really, like we talked about, there wasn't really a surge of top end talent. There were just guys who we see being really, really good, doing really good for a long time, but no one that's the game changer, no one that's take your team to the next level type player outside of those top 3-4 guys.
Yeah. It was an interesting draft. I thought that there was a lot of really good starters. I don't think that there was a lot of guys that are going to be game changer, league changing stars, franchise guys. I think that the top couple picks were that, and then I think it kind of fizzled, but we'll see. We're always wrong. There's always some dude that nobody's talking about right now that's going to be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, and we're going to be like, this guy's phenomenal. How did he drop? The Puka Nakuas of the world. So EOS made a comment here. She said, but still, I just think this college pay situation is all messy. They should be paid for sure, but the huge payout should be from the NFL contracts later in their career. Again, I could be ignorant here, but their heads could get too big if their contracts are a hefty number, which exactly what I was saying is I think is one of the reasons with Shedeur. This guy made $6 million last year. He made more than some of the coaches that he's having conversation with. He also denied interviews with anyone that wasn't a top 5 pick. I think that probably rubbed people the wrong way. He was confident. You can't knock the guy for believing in himself. I think in that situation, you have to be blessed for any opportunity you get. And I'm sure that, he was, but also in the same hand, you got to be open to anything your way, whatever fits. And I think that probably knocked him a little bit.
Very fine line to walk between confidence and cockiness. And I think that he crossed that line into cockiness. And I think that, again, I don't want to harp on it too much because we did go over it, but I think, like you said, that's probably what rubbed a lot of teams the wrong way. They just didn't want that kind of energy in that locker room.
Well, you know what energy I don't want in my locker room, Kearns?
What is that, dude? What kind of energy is that?
It's the energy from...
And you're not talking energy, you're talking energy.
I'm talking energy.
You're talking E-R-G-Y.
Energy from John Halliburton. Who the heck is this guy? You see Stephen A. came out and said other players have complained about him before? First off, Tyrese Halliburton's the most overrated player in the NBA.
John Halliburton, apparently.
What do you think about this whole situation that went down last night?
Dude, it was weird. I saw the video. I was just like, I'm confused. Like, because you're watching, I don't know if you saw the video of the fight when it started, but like you're watching it, they're shaking hands, and I think it was Benedict Mathurin. And
it was.
Giannis went over and sort of grabbed the back of his head. And the way it initially started, it looked like he was saying something to him like, you know how NBA players, they don't want people to read their lips and stuff, so they'll get close and it looked like he was embracing him. And then you kind of saw Giannis tense and looked like he started to really grab him. And then he tried to pull away. Giannis pulled him forward, and they just started. And then it blew up from there. Giannis was going crazy. They were all fighting, and it was just like, what is happening? Where did this just come from? I guess it was. I get it. Like with Giannis, I'm sure he was probably frustrated because I think in his mind he thinks they should have won this series. So he probably was like, you know what,
they didn't just lose this series; they got their asses kicked.
Yeah, they looked terrible. And then Tyrese Halliburton afterwards coming out saying he's gonna talk to Giannis, or he's gonna say something to Giannis, or something like that. And it's like no one cares. You can say what you want.
He's such a fake tough guy. I can't stand Tyrese Halliburton.
But that's what a lot of this league. There's a lot of guys who are just fake tough guys in this league, and they'll. But that's also what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to go out there and be like back down because that you're going to get no respect from people. But people can tell when you're a fake tough guy too. So I think some people kind of take it a little bit too far.
Here it comes.
In that,
they're bumping heads right now. But then afterwards said, "I loved you."
I do want to see it. I want to see if I can.
I love you. See, he points to him and says, "I love you."
Yeah. Well, no, he was talking to. It looks like it was Halliburton's
John
dad.
Halliburton. Yeah, but they were like
that's his dad. So
and they were being held back. Yeah, and then here's the Mathurin.
But this is where he gets up with Mathurin right here. Yeah. See, look at he looks like he's saying something to him, and then it looks like Mathurin starts to back away, and he's not letting him go. So it's weird. Like I wonder, like. And Mathurin is smiling at first. And then it gets intense, and then they both just crash out from there. And I don't know what, like Giannis must have said something there that just set him off or something happened. I have no idea. I just don't know. Like, again, it went from, you talk about 0 to 100. This is 0 to 100 right here.
It's a bunch of fake tough guys, though.
Oh, it's.
I don't think any of them are about that life.
KPJ might be. Didn't he?
You think KPJ's about that life?
Didn't he get arrested for something not great?
He might. Yeah, Thomas Bryant, fucking.
Thomas Bryant's in the league still? God,
yeah. B-Saw said, "I love seeing my boy Aaron Nesmith absolutely cooking for the Pacers. Never change."
Fuck you, Aaron Nesmith. Just kidding.
Thomas. You think Giannis is out now?
Yeah, I think he's gonna want to be out. I think that this Bucks team is. I want to hold on. I want to pull something up real quickly because
Dude,
their
whip it
future.
out.
Okay, didn't need to say that. No pause. I want to say that, however bad, and yes, I'm just getting this. Where the fudge did I send that? I could have sworn I sent that here. All right, it's in here too. So many group chats. However bad you think the Bucks' future is, it's worse. As bad as you might think it's going to be, it's going to be worse. So, Dame is 34, tore his Achilles, and might not play again until 2027, depending on his recovery. And when he does, he
Feel
might
bad
not
for
play.
Dame.
Like, the sad reality is that Dame might not ever play basketball. Like, there's all these reports coming out that he's positive and he's ready to get on the recovery road. But at that age, when you do that kind of injury, that's a really tough injury to come back.
Achilles in basketball is much different than Achilles in football.
Yeah, and I don't know, dude. You're 34 already. You might not come back for another 2 years. You might not come back to basketball until you're 36. Like, I don't know. They don't own their first round pick in this draft. They have the least favorable swaps, which means that they swap with a team and they get the worst of the two picks in 26, 28, and 30. They don't own any first round picks in 27 or 29, and they don't own their own first round pick again until 2031. But that's not it. They also have Brooke Lopez, Bobby Portis, Gary Trent, not Tayshaun Prince, Torian Prince, KPJ,
Kuzma.
are all free agents.
Oh, wow.
This season. Kyle Kuzma was a shell of a basketball player. He's averaged 7 points, two rebounds, and 1 assist this offseason. They don't have a young core. They have Tyler Smith, Chris Livingston, and Andre Jackson Jr. If you can tell me who any of those 3 guys are, I'll give you $100. That's their young core. This team is also the game they won was the first game the first playoff game they've won in like 2 years or something like that.
What?
I just don't think. Yeah, it's insane. I saw a stat. It was like 2 years or something like that since they had won a play. They sucked. Maybe that was just bullshit, and I didn't look into it enough. But I saw a stat that said that they hadn't won a game in like 2 years in the playoffs. Giannis is on the back end of his career at this point. I mean, Giannis is what? Let me check. I think 30.
Is Giannis out? That's my question.
Yeah, I think so. Giannis is 30, so by next season he'll be 31. They have no future right now. They don't have the support.
Get out of here with that shit.
Oh, what
said Giannis is going to be dealt this summer, and my money is going to join in San Antonio with Wemby. Giannis, Wemby, and possibly Cooper Flag. Nah. Just realized Kearns is wearing his Mutombo jersey. Can't believe that.
Hell yeah, brother. This thing's probably like 15 years old.
They could get Cooper Flag too.
No, they.
You don't think
they
that
could.
They would get a lottery team?
No, they're gonna be a lottery team, but Cooper Flag is the first overall pick this year.
You don't think that they could get the first overall pick?
I think it's unlikely. I think it's not.
What were the standings?
Let me see. Let me look real quick.
I'm looking right now.
Standings.
The Wizards lost 8. The Wizards lost 64 games.
They were 13th seed. The Spurs lost 48. They were 34 and 48. They were better than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They would have been like a 10 seed in the fucking East.
They were better than 7 teams. They would have been the 11th seed in the East. So they still would have missed the playoffs if they were in the East. So.
Oh, he said I was factoring that number 1 pick into the trade. I had Flag typed up, but I was like, wait, no, he's in the. Okay, yeah, like Wiggins for love. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, probably that would make sense. I don't know, man. There's a couple places you could go. I mean, I think Houston's going to be looking for a star next year. I mean, everyone's going to bring up the Lakers, but the Lakers, they don't have what they literally. If they get another star, a Giannis or someone else, they're going to have to trade their whole team. Like they're going to be
But you have Luka, LeBron, and Giannis. What else?
They would have Luka, 41-year-old LeBron, and Giannis, and then like
right. But it would be like one more year of LeBron, and then it would be the Luka and Giannis show.
I mean, if the Lakers are going to do it, I wouldn't be surprised if they get the opportunity to do it. I would not be surprised if they do it. It's just
Houston would be interesting.
Houston would be interesting because I think Houston is a team that can give up a decent amount of assets and still have enough to go and try to win a championship. I have seen a bunch of stuff that's saying go pair Giannis with Jokic, which would be fucking insane. But again, I don't think Denver can match the assets that the Rockets can. I don't know, man. There's a couple teams out there that they could go and try to do something.
That's why I hate the NBA.
But the Spurs too. San Antonio is another team that could go and try to make something happen.
To see Luka and Giannis get traded in the same calendar year makes me want to vomit. That's why I don't like the NBA.
I mean, the Luka one, the Giannis one wouldn't be surprising.
It makes sense. Yeah, Luka was a shock.
The Luka one was still one of the worst trades ever, and Nico Harrison 100% should not have a job.
No, he shouldn't.
I could see teams like Orlando. Honestly,
I'm surprised Doc has a job this morning.
That's fair.
I was really shocked. I didn't see it. Doc Rivers was fired.
Well, they're also still in the playoffs, right? So.
What?
It's
no, they're not. That was the end.
Of the series. I'm sorry. I'm thinking. I know. I'm an
idiot. They lost 4-1.
I'm just not a smart person right now.
You're fine.
Leave me alone. I could see that coming soon. I could see that coming very shortly. Especially if they do move Giannis, they'll fire him and they'll try to find someone else that they can rebuild around, or they can have a rebuilding team with. And we know Doc is not Doc is not. If they do say they're going to start a rebuild, Doc is going to say
Doc's not the guy for it.
I don't want to be here then.
Yeah, he's not the guy for it. Moving on. Boston Celtics beat Orlando 120-89. Absolutely abysmal 3rd and 4th last night. And they win the series 4-1. What a tough friggin' series.
Really quickly, sorry, B-Saw just put something in there, so I want to read
Giannis
it before we move on.
Orlando's shooting problems. What about Giannis to OKC for a package built around J-Dub and a bunch of picks? Holy shit!
That 100% could happen.
I didn't. Giannis in your front court.
I didn't say it because I don't want to manifest that energy, but I mean, OKC is in a position where they can go out and get a lot of guys. A lot of guys to go and bolster their roster and still have SGA and
their window's closing. They have to figure it out before all these dudes gonna get paid. You're gonna have it's like the Celtics, and the Celtics are about to. Granted, they're selling their team, but they're gonna be running into problems really soon with all these contracts.
I think the Thunder have a little bit before they have to really worry about that though. Because they're gonna have to pay Chet for sure. They just paid J-Dub, if I'm not mistaken. SGA has his contract, so I don't know, dude. That was a big part of the Josh Giddey trade too. The whole thing with Josh Giddey that we don't talk about, but also they definitely moved him so they didn't have to pay him.
Had nothing to do with him fingering a 16-year-old.
All right, you had to say it. You had to go there. That's okay. Golly. All right, moving on. The Celtics beat the Magic last night. Yes, Tatum is that dude.
Paolo can ball. The Magic are going to be a problem for years to come if they figure things out. Future's very bright for them, but Tatum is that fucking dude.
I would if they announced tomorrow that Al Horford needed a kidney replacement, I would give him all of the organs in my body. And just be like, just do what you can do with this. Here you go.
Dude,
take them all.
Was a block party last night.
I love Al Horford. Number 42 is going to hang in the rafters.
I said that, and then I got shit for it.
Yeah, because you said it. And you probably said it like 4 years ago. You probably said it at Al's first stint in Boston.
No, I said it last year after they won.
Yeah, sure you did. Sure.
So who's next? Is it it's not the Pacers.
It would be Knicks or
Pistons.
Pistons, yeah. Which I'm not worried about any of those teams. Fawns.
Wesley Burton, late to the show,
Just
but
punched the
better
hell out of
late
that.
than never. How you guys doing this evening? Wesley, you literally joined minutes after we just finished talking about the Pacers.
Golly. Bro, horrible timing.
Halliburton, overrated. Bunch of fake tough guys.
Just like Kevin, fake tough
Good
guy.
luck with the Cavs.
Good luck. Yeah, you guys are going to get absolutely torched by the Cavs. Oh, my God, dude. I'm sorry, Wesley. I really am. I don't mean to laugh, but holy cow, are you guys going to get ridiculously railroaded by the Cavaliers? That team is so deep. What they did to the Heat, don't get me wrong, the Heat are significantly worse than the Pacers, but what they did to the Heat, the Heat should sell their whole team.
Was it 62 to 35 at one point?
It was, I want to say the exact score. No, it was 70. Hold on, let me see.
Wesley, how's your arc wipe going, man? I'm jealous.
At one point, I don't know exactly where in the game it was, but at one point the Cavaliers were up 70.
The Warriors, really?
Okay, cool.
Sorry. Continue. 46 to 24.
Golly. At one point, the Cavs were beating the Heat 72 to 33. So bad.
Didn't Tyler Hero make a comment about Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, well, they came out. A couple of them came out afterwards and were like, "Well, yeah, the Jimmy Butler trade. It was it messed us up." And Hero, I think, said something about we don't need Jimmy. We didn't need Jimmy to win, but it's also you got torched, so clearly, I think you did. Weird. You went to the finals twice with Jimmy.
He said, I came into the season thinking I was playing off Jimmy, to him getting traded, and I had to switch my mindset from needing Jimmy to me being the lead guy. And I spoke about things I learned from JB. Never said I need anyone to win games. I can see where he's coming from. I can also see how that gets taken out of context.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Tyler Hero, you're a bum, though, so it doesn't matter.
Tyler Hero's a bum.
Tyler Hero's going to have another breakout season, right, Heat fans?
All things
every
good,
year.
I hope, but I doubt it. LOL 3-1 versus Cleveland in the regular season.
Yeah, but that's the regular season. That team has been.
My allergies are.
Yeah, it's allergy season, baby.
It is allergy
season.
I think it'll be really fun to play the Knicks. Could be the Pistons, which would be even funner.
Well, Pistons would be hilarious because then I can clown Fonz for his team losing in the first round. But it also would be awesome to actually eliminate Fonz's team. So kind of hoping we play the Knicks. I know that they're the better team and they'd be probably the harder series.
They'd play us a lot harder. I think if the Pistons get past the Knicks, that's going to be a huge Cinderella story. But then to run into Boston right after, they're not.
Yeah. That's like your Cinderella riding off in the carriage and then you crash into a wall. Instead of your carriage turning back to a pumpkin at midnight, it just fucking explodes with you inside.
Well, speaking of that, what do you think happens with the series?
I think the Knicks. The Pistons won by 3. They've been close games. They've had a couple close games in that series. I still think the Knicks will be able to win it, whether it goes to 7 or not. Jalen Brunson was kind of a no-show. I mean, he still has 16 points, but for a guy like Jalen Brunson, that's not great. They scored by committee a lot, and they had a very typical Tibbs lineup where 4 guys played somehow instead of having a decent lineup, but no one scored over 20 for the Knicks, which is weird. You have Kat, you have Jalen Brunson. You would expect one of those guys to be up there. Your leading scorer was OG Anunoby, which is not super ideal. Cade had a great game. He had 24, 8, and 8. Tobias Harris showed up.
Is Cade a baller?
Yeah, Cade's been a baller, bro. Cade has absolutely been a baller. I know both teams, they played kind of weird. Neither team shot incredibly well from 3. I I just think that the Pistons are a team that people are still somehow sleeping on.
Newt said he could kick your ass.
Me?
Yeah.
Where?
He said
Prove
I
it.
could kick Kearns' ass.
Where? Prove it. What do you mean, bro?
He thinks he could fight you.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Okay. Okay.
I'm built different. What do you mean? I am built incredibly different. Let's just talk about basketball, which, again, what do you mean?
He is talking about basketball. And
Bro.
trust me, Justin's not that hard to beat. I've done it a lot.
You've literally never done. Hey, all right, so we have one one-on-one that you did on camera. Do we want to talk about that one?
You... Bro.
Do we want to talk about it? We can talk about it, bro. We can talk about it.
This guy didn't leave
If we
his
wanna bring
feet
that
and
up.
was draining
If
threes.
we want to bring that up,
He
and
didn't
you still
jump.
lost, and you still lost like 11-0 or some shit like that.
It's 11-1.
11-1 because you got a pity point.
Puck off.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Oh my god. Dude, don't maybe come over there and kiss you on the mouth, bro. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I don't think
right.
that the Pistons are there yet to rout the Knicks.
I
But
don't think so.
what a fucking cool story that would be.
That would be cool. I mean, Tobias Harris remembered he was a basketball player, which is kind of interesting.
Tobias Harris has more career points than Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. That's insane. Absolutely insane. I think it's going to be interesting to see if those guys do show up again, because it is going to be... Sorry. Esau just commented, I can't wait to see Al adopt another son. I know he's always wanted a cat. Al Horford is the league's dad. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Hey, whoa. That's not the flex you think it is, my guy. Brother. Oh.
No, he said Kev.
Yeah,
Oh,
because he's talking
beating
when you said I've beaten you, which, by the way, you never have.
Okay.
We can play anytime. And honestly, Beast, goes for you. We can play anytime, brother. You let me know. I guarantee in the many 1v1s that we've had over the years, I guarantee you I have a winning record. Anyway, back to real sports and not overweight men playing sports. Being very mid.
We should start the JDF league. You have to be overweight to play in it.
You've got to have a BMI over a certain amount. Oh my god, I almost fell out my chair.
Newt, I'm so glad I brought this up.
Newt,
Go
you are
Buffs.
causing rifts. You're causing rifts in this family right now.
I just don't think the Pistons are there to beat the Knicks, and I think the Knicks Celtics is what people want to see.
Yeah, I think Knicks Celtics is what everyone wants to see. I think ultimately what most NBA fans, what the league wants, is that Cavs Celtics finals, because that's going to be electric.
Oh my God.
Two of the deepest teams in the league, definitely the two deepest teams in the East. I think both teams are actually super similar. Both teams have star power. Both teams have excellent supporting cast. Both teams have squads that have been together and building for a long time now. I think both teams kind of have something to fight for. Donovan Mitchell came here from Utah. He's been trying to prove that he can win. You know, Tatum, obviously, there was all that stuff that happened last year when Jaylen Brown won both the Eastern and regular and NBA Finals MVPs, and there was all the doubting about Tatum. And then he didn't, he was sitting for the Olympics. So I think that Tatum wants to prove that he can be the de facto number one guy and still win. But that's definitely a series that people want. I do think the Knicks Pistons series has been pretty entertaining though, which is awesome.
It has. The Motor City Kitties. Not the Lions.
That's awful. That's awful. Yeah, new Celtics Cavs going to 7 would absolutely feed families.
It's gonna feed families, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what we're gonna see from the NBA. I think the NBA is gonna make it that way. And I also think that's the two best teams, and I don't think that any of the teams left in the East really compete with those two teams at all. Sorry, Wesley. Pacers really don't. The Pacers are an okay team, and they've got some bright spots, but like at the end of the day, they just don't mesh well with any of the actual contenders. And dude, the Knicks have the like on paper talent, but it feels like they just fall short so often. It feels like there's so many times during the season that I'm seeing stuff from the Knicks, and you just expect to get more from most of the guys on that roster.
Another story right now, we have the Rockets and the Warriors were playing, and the Rockets are smoking the Warriors. But we have another series that plays tomorrow night, the Denver Nuggets and the LA Clippers. Denver defeated LA last night 131-115 to take a 3-2 series lead. They'll play tomorrow night in LA. What are your predictions about this series?
So in my playoff video, I said this is probably going to be the most fun series in the first round, and I think it's been that. I think these two teams are really fun matchup. I love the Kawhi. I you know what, dude? I'll admit it. I did not think the Kawhi James Harden tag team on this team was going to work. We obviously saw when they had PG, and then they even had like Russ towards the end of the year. It really didn't work. But dude, they play really well. When Kawhi plays, people forget Kawhi has the potential to still be like a top 10 at the least, but a top 5 guy in this league when he's healthy. James Harden has had moments this year where it legitimately seems like he's going back to Houston and he can be that offensive engine again. I think he's a lot more willing to be the facilitator, where obviously in Houston he was getting a lot of assists, but it was also because he had the ball in his hands 99% of the times, where I think it's a little bit different this year. Their supporting cast has been great, but then obviously Jokic is on the other side, and Jokic is the best player in the world. We've seen Jamal Murray doing his thing. Last night, I think he had 42 points, something like that. There was that probably one of the hardest to call moments in history, the Aaron Gordon tip-in game winner.
Wesley Burton said 3 of 4 against Cleveland, and they can't compete. Your bias is crazy.
I mean, dude, it's the regular season, Wesley. Like, ultimately in the NBA, the regular season doesn't matter. If you honestly think the Pacers roster competes with the Cavs roster, bro, you're being biased. I'm sorry. Anyway. Dude, no. I'm sorry. That's crazy. Tyrese Halliburton is not anywhere near the star level that Donovan Mitchell is. You could argue he's not even better than Darius Garland. Let's be real here. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are both. I'll tell you, I would take Jared Allen as a rim protector and a defensive stalwart over Miles Turner. I mean, Miles Turner has a shooting factor, but overall, they're pretty close. Evan Mobley is better than Pascal Siakam at this point in their careers, and the supporting cast around the Cavs is just significantly better. Sorry, not sorry. Hey, and you know what? If I'm wrong, Wesley, I'm wrong. If it's an amazing,
if he's wrong, he'll
7
eat a
game
shoe
series,
live on JDF Sports.
Not gonna do that.
Deep fried shoe.
Not gonna do that. But hey, dude, we saw what happened last year in the playoffs when the Pacers went up against real competition. That's all I'm saying.
They didn't have Tyrese Halliburton.
That's all I'm saying. Oh, they didn't have Tyrese Halliburton.
Thank you, EOS, for the bits. We got biddies.
EOS Solar just cheered 5 bits.
Bits, baby. Biddies.
So yeah, this Denver LA series. Definitely interesting. I just think Jokic is too good to go home in the first round.
I think it goes 2-7, but I think Denver wins. I think it'll go to 7. I think Denver wins. Because yeah, Jokic is way too talented to lose in the first round. He's just simply built different. He had a bad game the other night, but a bad game for him is still a triple double, like, which is insane. But he didn't score 30 this time, so it was like okay. But Jamal Murray stepped up. He had 43. Aaron Gordon had a good game. You know, Michael Porter
That
Jr.
ending to that game was why I think it was game 3. Insane.
Yeah, game 3.
With the
Dude, that's why I said might be the closest call ever. I think he did get it off just barely got the fingertips off the ball. So I think it was the right call to say that it counted, but man, that was so tough.
Yeah. All right, next thing for you, Justin.
Okay.
Can the Rockets and Lakers come back? They're down 3-1. Rockets are giving it to the Warriors as we speak.
So the Rockets Warriors series.
Real quick, we got a first commenter on Twitch. Shout out EBP. Clippers versus Nuggets will be closer than in the past, but I personally think Westbrook is the difference maker.
No, that's honestly solid. He had like 20 points the other night, and I think that if he can, he's not going to be MVP level Russ for sure, but if he could just be a spark plug off the bench for the Nuggets, then that's all they really need him to be. If he can just be an energy guy and not do stupid shit at the end of a game and turn the ball over and then foul someone to win the game like he did in the regular season, then cool. But if he can just be efficient and come in high energy, not have 10 turnovers.
Christ, Kazi's
oh
here.
God. All right, let's so we're done. We're not
Real quick,
anymore.
Newt wants 5 big booms. Newt, I'm so sorry to hear about your brother who died. Here's 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. Go Buffs. We need a nickname for the fans of the pod. EO said I agree. JDF Nation. We'll have to figure something cool out.
Yeah,
I like that, Esau.
The buttholes.
Nope.
Oh. The booty holes.
Nope.
The oh, see? Yeah. See, I have one person agrees. Butts.
Hello.
Sure.
Go Buffs. That's a Billy Madison reference in case anyone cares. I do care.
IDK, my BFF Jill.
EBP said the JDF squad.
That's not bad.
EBP, appreciate you tuning in. Love having you here, man. Thanks for commenting. Hopefully you join the JDF squad. Hey,
yeah.
We got the follow.
Let's go. We love it.
Justin, Kate says butts.
Yeah. Well, I told her to comment butts, and so butts.
Yes, join the Discord. Thank you,
definitely join the Discord.
And then Caitlin commented with some laughing
lit.
emojis. Caitlin, what's going on? Appreciate the comment. Thank you for tuning in. The JDF butts.
Where is that? Hold on.
Yeah.
There's Kate. Hi, Kate. Hi, Kate. How's Oz? Oz is Kate's dog. He's adorable, and he's not like Murphy is.
But Rockets, I mean, if they can come back, they can beat the Warriors. You're 3-2. Where are they tonight? Are they in Houston?
That's a great question, my guy. They are. I think they are in Houston. I believe
they're in Houston, so that's going to be tough. You're going to go to Golden State. I don't think you're going to come back from that.
No, I don't think you do. I mean, dude, there's a chance it's Steph Curry, man. We've seen this. We've read this story before. We've seen this song and dance. It's Steph Curry, dude. You're up 21 in the second quarter. 20 now, actually, they just scored. Dude, I like Steph Curry is one of those guys where even if I'm not up 35, 40 points, I don't really feel safe because he's Steph. You never know what that team can do. You never know what Steph is going to do. That being said, yeah, no, they're lots of talent on that team. Probably the biggest surprise team this year. I don't think a lot of people had them as a second seed, but they're so young and so inexperienced. Like this is I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a lot of that team's core. This is a lot of their very first playoff experience. So to go up against Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, who obviously he's been out for a couple games, but if I believe he is playing tonight, it's just
Jimmy.
It's just very Jimmy buckets, baby. Playoff Jimmy, real thing until he busts his ass, literally. I just think it's so much for them to surmount, and they're sure if they come out and get a huge victory tonight, great on them. Something they can hang their hats on, but I just don't think they beat Steph Curry with a team that's
good team. They remind me of the Magic. A lot of young pieces and good defensively, and they're well coached. I don't think that they're there yet.
No,
Now,
they're
for the
not there
Lakers-
yet at all.
The Lakers, I don't know.
Dude, the Lakers.
I think the Lakers are a lost cause here.
So I really did not have I didn't have a lot of faith in the Timberwolves, to be honest. Like I didn't think they were going to be super amazing in the playoffs, but they played really well. Julius Randle's had a pretty good playoffs. Jaden McDaniels has had a good playoffs, and dude, I don't know. It's
Ooze is oozing or Oz is ozzing?
Oz.
Oz.
Oz
Okay.
is ozzing.
Yeah, naming your dog Ooze would be a rough one. That's on me.
I mean, obviously, like Luka's been doing his thing. LeBron's done his thing. But like this team, the Lakers team is just it's such a strange team. Austin Reeves has kind of done his thing, but like outside those guys, there's not much to do there. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's hey, we saw LeBron come back down 3-1 once. I'm not saying he can't do it again. I'm just saying it's not likely. It is not very likely. I mean,
they're in LA, so you get that one, but then you have
LA.
to go back
He
to
might win
Minnesota.
one more, but you've got to go back to Minnesota and win again. And with the way that Ant has been playing, it's going to be kind of difficult to do that. But yeah, it's very hard when you just have Luka and LeBron, and then I mean Austin Reeves has played well, but outside that, and this is what I mean, dude. This is three guys. Like this is what I mean. If they go out and get another star, you're still three guys. There's only so much that three guys can do.
Our boy EBP or girl in the comments here. Warriors versus Rockets is more interesting than in the past, but vets almost beating youngsters every time, especially when it's Curry. And forgot about Hemi buckets. Lakers, even with Luka, are done. From firsthand experience as a Suns fan and as not someone to mess around with, there is a reason why he is the lost son of AJ or MJ.
Who's AJ?
Lost son of AJ. Maybe we're seeing playoff Ant.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he brought them to a Western Conference last year. Granted, obviously, they had Cat and Rudy Gobert and who's that guard they have there, or the forward they have there that's nasty? Good defender.
Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Who has been going off. He had 25 in game one. He had 30 in game two. Like,
he's a good defender, but he can hoop.
If he's scoring 25, 30 points on you, like, you're probably losing that game because he doesn't score like that.
B-Sauce said Luka low-key only has 20 assists in 4 games. T-Wolves defense is shutting shit down, and Rudy is leading that side of the ball. Mark my words, Austin Reeves will be dealt this summer for a rim-running big man. How are y'all forgetting about Nas, Reed? I don't know if anyone watched WrestleMania 2 weekends ago, but some guys in the front had a giant Nas Reed banner that they were holding up the entire time. The Nas Reed love is real.
That's actually hilarious, dude.
EBP said, aside from all those big matchups, my eyes are on the Knicks and Pistons. Now that's a series. That's probably the closest one to actually tipping. Like, I do believe the Knicks will win, but there is a small chance the Pistons could pull something out.
Oh, 100%. There's definitely a chance that I mean, like you said, Cade's been balling. That team is meshing together really well. Tobias Harris, remember that he's a professional basketball player and has been playing reasonably well. They have one of the top. I think they have a star. Jalen Duren is a freak. Beef Stew will fight anyone on the court.
Oh my god, Beef Stew, that's funny.
So yeah, I mean, they're a very gritty team. They're definitely a very gritty team, and they could definitely pull something out, which would be hilarious because then I can clown Fogs for his team.
Then we can clown Fogs. But with that being said, we're gonna get into our final thoughts here. But before we do that, just want to shout out everyone who's watching right now. Thank you guys so much for commenting and showing all the support. Our Twitch is doing great right now. EBP, we're happy to have you, man, or girl, whoever you are. We'd love having you. We love the community. So thank you. Even if this is your only time experiencing JDF Sports, we're glad that you're with us tonight. But Kearns, what do you got for a final thought?
Karl Anthony Towns, Cade Cunningham. whoever it is. Celtics in 5.
Serge Ibaka, Chewbacca, Star Wars, Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. Luke Skywalker.
Leia. My final thought is, if anyone is a genuine cotton candy fan, you have some serious problems. Cotton candy has to be the most disgusting treat. Have you ever went out of your way to get cotton candy, or was it just gifted to you?
No. First of all, okay. You should not have said this as your final thought. First of all,
we're here.
Cotton candy, shut your mouth when I'm talking, please.
Fuck you. Not going to talk to me like that.
I will come over there and kiss you on the
I'll
forehead.
mute you. Go ahead. I want to hear your horrible cotton candy.
Cotton candy is not a treat you go out of your way to get. It is a special time treat. You get it when you're at a special event, like a carnival or a circus or something like that. It is not.
So when you're there, you're
choosing
choosing to eat cotton candy when you're at an event, Kearns.
Hell yeah!
It's sticky. It gets in your hands.
Oh
it
my
melts.
God,
and it's nothing.
Oh, so you don't like ice cream? You don't like ice cream on a cone?
Different context here.
Why? It's sticky. It melts. It gets on your hands. Stupid ass.
Brother, cotton candy. It's like it sticks to your teeth. I've never eaten ice cream, but oh, my hands are so sticky. It's usually manageable, but after you eat cotton candy, your hands are brown or blue or whatever color because it mixes with the blue and the pink, and it's just this really nasty, sticky substance on your hand. Cotton candy is incredibly overrated, and that's coming from a certified big man.
Are you mixing your cotton candy with glue?
What? It's
I've never. Yeah, it's been a little bit sticky, but I've never been damn, my whole hand is sticky. What the fuck? How do you eat your cotton candy? Do you sit there and
I eat it like corn on the cob.
So how is your hand even getting that sticky? That doesn't even make any sense.
Because it's just it touches it. You usually eat it at those events, and it's warm. Cotton candy is just not great.
Also, I'm sorry. What kind of cotton candy are you eating that it's melting like that? It melts in your mouth when you get it wet, but unless you're spitting on it, it's not melting into your hand, dude.
I spit when I talk.
Brother, that is a you problem. What do you get a thing of cotton candy? You're this would be a great place to just dump my water over and oh, my hand is sticky. Oh, dude, I'm done. I am so...
Couple of comments.
You have me so heated right now. I can't even believe this.
We got some beef over cotton candy. Cassie's a huge... Cassie, what? Dude, you're a huge cotton candy fan.
Let's go, Cass.
All right,
let's go.
Ans. Yo, shout out Ans. Snow cone. I was about to apologize for being late because I had a basketball game, but I will not. Ice cream sandwiches are elite. You're supposed to eat ice cream on the top and ice cream in your hand. You don't eat ribs with your fingers, Kevin? Chicken wings from the hanger? Yes, but I don't know. You have a napkin and usually sitting down at the table. I'm thinking you're at a carnival or a circus or a base. I can't even do this. I can't even do this.
See what I have to put up with all the goddamn time here
root
with
beer
this
float, pizza,
bullshit.
Root beer float is elite. Root beer
floats are elite. Snow cones are awesome unless they suck at putting the stuff in the ice, and then you get 2 bites of flavor, and then the rest is ice.
All right, well, I guess we're going to continue this cotton candy debate next time we're live on JDF. But
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Make sure you're following us on all platforms. JDF is on YouTube. JDF is on TikTok. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X. We've got a Discord, so make sure you join the Discord and join in that conversation. We're trying to build a community. We want people to feel welcome. We want to talk gaming. We want to talk sports. We do card collecting. We got all that fun stuff. So make sure you head on over to the Discord, !Discord. You'll be able to join. Our next stream, Out of Bounds, will be live tomorrow night with Dylan James and his crew. So definitely make sure you head on over there and check them out tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then make sure you subscribe and follow us on Twitch and YouTube. As we mentioned earlier, if you're just tuning in or you missed at the beginning, March 9th, we will no longer be live on Facebook. We are strictly YouTube and Twitch. Beginning of the show, we talked about it. Facebook doesn't like us very much. We're back, and we don't want to run into the same problem we did in 2021 when we were here. So we're coming back, and we are, exactly, Joey. Fuck Facebook. And if you think it's a Discord, we'd love to have you in there. Join. Make sure when you do join, you go into the roll section and click the little icons for the sports you like, because that'll add you to any of those chats. I know there's a lot of people in there that are just in like the general chat, but we have card collecting and gaming and football and basketball and wrestling and all that fun stuff. So make sure you guys click on that. I love Dick Sword.
What?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, I'm gonna look at that. Hey, there he is! CBP, welcome to the Discord. Let's go!
Hey! And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Joey Discord, Dick Sword, got it. But Joey's been in the comments, Kazi, EBP, B-Saw's been rocking with us. B-Saw, Caitlin and Oz have been rocking with us for a while. My lady Eos, love you, babe. Thank you for supporting. Newt was in the comments for a little bit. Xavier, wow. Okay, so it's like that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time. Yeet, yeet, yeet.